Okay, it's going. All right. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Gianna Spear. I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager at Spina Bifida Association. We're just really excited for Teal on the Hill, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about it and local advocacy. Okay.
All right. So I'm Will Dickey, co-chair of the Spina Bifida Association Advocacy Committee, and I'm glad to be joined by my fellow advocate in arms, Jay Dashefsky. And we're here to do a live Q&A and talk about Teal on the Hill. Before we get going, let's just do a few housekeeping items. Of course, Teal on the Hill is going to be February 27th. It's going to be virtual. For those who have not registered, make sure you register by February 11th. That way we can get out all the proper materials to you, so you'll be properly armed and ready to meet your representatives. So now that that's done, and most importantly, while I have you here, Jay, let's quickly talk about the importance of what work on the local level has relevance to working what we do on the national level at Teal on the Hill.
Awesome, thank you, Will. My name is Jay Dashefsky. I'm from Scottsdale, Arizona, and I've been doing a lot of local advocacy lately with the state capitol and some local Spina Bifida bills that we have. But everything influences everything, really, and with locally influenced bills, you are going to pretty much spread the word through the U.S., through state by state, about the importance of, like, what is one state doing? How can one state do this, and how could this spread to a national level? How can it be noticed? Everything is about being noticed, and so really, you are going to help raise awareness, even if it's little bit by bit. It's huge with raising awareness. So that's really huge with state advocacy. You'll end up reaching the national level, influencing everywhere. So that's pretty much it. In a nutshell, getting involved with everybody, rubbing elbows with people in your state, people national. Word spreads like wildfire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of compare it to how in the business world everything kind of trickles down. Well, in the advocacy world, it's the exact opposite. It's kind of like a salmon going upstream. It starts at the local level and it works its way up to the national level. So, everything that you're doing in the state of Arizona could possibly have ramifications on a national level. So that's why I think it's very important. Now, Jay, you've been on a few Teal on the Hills with us. What's been your experience with it from a virtual standpoint?
The virtual standpoint has really been great because I've had lots of takeaways from there. Of course, you get to network with everybody, meeting new people, but the takeaways are invaluable. You get to learn a lot of stuff, both nationally and locally, about what is going on, what needs to be done, what isn't there yet, what is in progress. And those things are all important because, as we've talked about, everything influences everything.
Mm-hmm. Great, cool deal. So why don't we head out to the Facebook world? Do we have any questions at the moment?
Let's see. A lot of people saying hi.
Also, if I may touch on something, locally is a great place to start because really that's where you are. You are local. I like to talk about, like, from the voter standpoint, version 1.0 is the primary election. 1.5 is the general, and you want to get to version 2.0. We all love to update our software nowadays. So version 2.0 is that civic engagement. You're voting for your officials. Now you get to actually talk with them and bring up issues that you want change. Or to see change, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what do we got? Gianna, got anything for us?
No questions yet, but say hi to people. Hey, Charlotte. Hey, Emma. Hey, Libby. Does anybody have questions about Teal on the Hill and how it'll be working this year virtually? I know, Will, you want to talk a little bit about how that works and how we did it last year?
Well, this year it's going to be kind of unique. I have to hand it to the planning committee, especially Megan and everyone, for how it's going to be planned this year. We're going to start with kind of a small intro session on Sunday beforehand, and then have some of the majority of the sessions on Monday later on in the day to accommodate people who work. I think that's going to be a big difference. And the reason why I love the virtual aspect right now is because I see a lot of people to come on a virtual level that honestly wouldn't be able to make it there had we do it at Washington, D.C., whether it's, costs or just logistics making it out there. So I think this is good for the times because it really helps energize a lot of people who naturally wouldn't be there.
Yeah,
And I
it's a
fully
really,
agree.
really good opportunity. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
And I fully agree. It's really great for the convenience, and it really revs up the energy, to get out and go do your stuff. Talk to everybody you want, find out what's a legislative change that is required. For example, spina bifida being in the state statutes, which means state constitution. So you're changing the state constitution. That is hugely important. If something doesn't go well that first get-go, you do it again, you reintroduce. Never hurts to try. Always be cordial with your elected officials. They could be handling issues that are this way or that way. You might pay attention, you might not, doesn't matter, but always be cordial because they want to work with you. That's why they're there.
And somebody asked for just like a brief overview of Teal on the Hill, if one of you guys want to dive into that for somebody that may have never heard of Teal on the Hill before.
Basically, it is going to be on, it's like I mentioned, it's going to start on Sundays, the Sunday before. We're going to have like a little mixer, some just to get to know you, who's going to be in your group, who you're going to be advocating for, and what we're going to be advocating for specifically, what our main asks are. Like I said, Monday is going to be the main part of the training. We're going to do it mainly in the afternoon to accommodate people who work. And then the rest of the week is going to be up to just being able to schedule representative meetings. Sometimes you'll be able to get it all in one day. Sometimes, you have to spread it out throughout the rest of the week. We're really at the mercy of the representative schedules. So those meetings could vary.
All right, and somebody asked, oops, how can we advocate, support, or volunteer worldwide, whether it's done virtually and or in person?
Well, obviously, how you can advocate is be a part of Teal on the Hill, obviously, and just following up with local issues in your local area, as Jay's talked about. See if there's any unaffiliated or corporate chapters in your area. And how I kind of got started was just getting on Facebook and starting a support group page, and I got started through there. So there's a lot of great Facebook groups. United by Spina Bifida is one where you can join and meet people in your area, and then just kind of network and figure out who to talk to. Most importantly, find out who represents you, what voting districts you're in, and don't be afraid to email or go to an event where your local representative is speaking. that's how you could do it.
Absolutely.
Jay, any
Will.
suggestions?
Yes, I definitely agree with what Will said. And from the get-go, get involved with self-advocacy groups, with disability groups, because you'll rub elbows with people who know people who know people, and so on and so forth. Learn where spina bifida is covered, what is covered, what is lacking. Certainly attend legislative awareness days at the Capitol. Get familiar with your legislative district, or on a federal level, your congressional district. It's really great to like elicit change. For example, the first go around, I testified with a bunch of self advocates to nix the MR wording. MR, if I'm only going to say it once. MR means mental retardation. So that we got off of the state statutes, cognitive disability, intellectual disability. So that was the first go around, and that I was hooked. Once you get there, you will be hooked and you'll never look back. It's really addicting. It's really powerful. It's just the greatest thing.
And I think that resonates throughout everyone who has participated in Teal on the Hill. They talk about, especially people like Charlotte, they talk about how empowering it is, especially as a young adult, to be able to speak to your representatives and basically tell them your story, because that's really all you're doing. When I've gone in person with my group from North Carolina, we've gotten to the point where, we have it down pat. I usually have someone like Marie or Jenna to talk about their experience with spina bifida with a young child. Then I have someone like Laura Parks to say what it's like with a teenager. And then, of course, I end with my experiences as adult. So that's what you're doing. And that's empowering in itself.
Absolutely. Stories are the best. Stories are what drives things forward. Whether you're
Oh, Jay, you're muted.
Right.
Okay.
When I click my mouse, it goes on, off. It's very sensitive. So
Uh-oh.
yeah, so sorry about that. But I mean, yeah, I mean, like, stories are huge, whether you're meeting at their office or whether you're meeting in the standing committee, or anywhere. Yes, stories are the driver.
Yes, and Heather asked, can you attend certain days or all, or how does that work?
Yeah, we realized that when scheduling the meetings with representatives, you may not be able to attend all of them. And like I've mentioned, we've really tried to work this year's schedule to accommodate people who work. So, I may not be able to attend every meeting, but that's okay. But, you definitely want to be there for the majority of the training, and to at least, as Jay's talked about, network, get to know issues and people in your area. So that way your advocacy could go on after Teal on the Hill.
Yeah, so the dates of the event are Sunday, February 27th, Monday, February 28th, and Tuesday, March 1st. That Tuesday is when the meetings are going to be held. So you will be meeting with people from your area and congressional staffers from there. And so the timing, something that's very helpful, is Sunday, it's going to start around 2 p.m. Eastern time. And then Monday, there's a general open session at 1 p.m. with some Q&A, awards, and just time to meet with each other. And then at 4 p.m. we come back and we start with a young adult advocacy chat with two great people, Shoshana and Charlotte. And then it goes until 7 p.m. We have like a virtual happy hour. And then Tuesday, that's when the meetings are. So that's the schedule for those that haven't been able to see that yet. And somebody asked how many meetings we'll be a part of.
That's really going to ultimately depend on the availability of your local representatives. I've been a part of as many as 3 to 5 in a day, or if within a couple days. But like I said, ultimately it's going to be up to your representatives.
And the meetings can sound intimidating, but they're really not. You're with people there to support you, and if you're not sure what to say, some other people will talk for you and stuff. So definitely not something to be discouraged by.
And I see on here someone's asking a question, is there specific asks or just telling stories? There are specific asks. There's two main asks right now. The first major ask is that we're going to ask for a $2 million increase in our daily budget from 7 million to 9 million. And the other big ask is that we're publicly supporting a current bill in Congress right now that is about Social Security and taking away the limit that people who want to work can make. So that in itself is a huge bill that we're going to be publicly supporting. And then, of course, yes, we're going to be able to tell our personal stories, so we can, add a couple things maybe that you would like to see, or that's where you as an advocacy or an advocate can put your own little spin on.
Does anybody else have more questions? Let's see. Another thing to note is the deadline of February 11th. That is next Friday, I believe. And that date is to make sure that you're in a meeting on March 1st with your congressional staffers. That's really important to make sure you register by then, or else we can't guarantee you're going to be in a meeting. And it's definitely a really fun part of Teal on the Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see you all take those meeting experiences locally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because that's, like Jay said, that's where it starts. And most importantly, our needs and advocacy doesn't stop after Teal on the Hill. It's 24/7, 365. So make sure, you keep an eye out on the ground, nose and eyes to the ground. And, if there's specific issues that we need to know on a national level, feel free to let us know. You guys are also very important for our eyes and ears on what our needs will be. And I see here, is there going to be a Teal on the Hill or a conference if and when the pandemic ends? I will say we would love to be in person for Teal on the Hill. However, due to COVID and the pandemic, we cannot. But the hope is next year that things will be back to normal, and we'll be able to go back and do what we do front and center and in person.
Yes, but don't let it deter you from attending just because it's virtual, because it is a lot of fun. And also, if you can't attend the meetings on Monday, don't let that deter you, because what you're going to learn on that first day and the second day is something that you can carry with you through all your advocacy in the rest of the year. It doesn't have to be strictly held to Teal on the Hill. That's definitely something else to note. All right, are there any other questions before we wrap up? This has been really fun answering your guys' questions.
I see another, how many, such as family members, friends, to my question was already answered. Okay, I'm sorry, my bad. 1 moment.
Sorry, Facebook froze, so
Yeah,
trying to see
it's
the
all good.
comments.
Yeah.
All right, well, if that is everything, we can end it here. This was great, guys.
All right.
And
Good to
I
see you.
put the
Good to talk.
registration link in the Facebook post. I'm gonna share this on Twitter as well, because I know there are some people that didn't have Facebook that really wanted to see this too. So if you have friends that want to learn more about Teal on the Hill, feel free to share this video with them, and just get registered for the event. We're really, really excited for it, and we're excited to see all your faces. And if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to reach out, comment, message us. Always willing to answer.
Look forward to seeing everyone there.
Absolutely. Thank you all for joining, and we look forward to seeing you all.
Bye.